How you doing, guys? This is BGDINO. Today we'll be doing a trailer review of the movie Final Destination Bloodline. But first, let's watch this trailer. Yeah. So what do you think, guys? What I got from the trailer is this one right here is supposed to connect all of them together. You know, the last one they made, that was actually a prequel. That was actually before the very first one when they got on the airplane and we was introduced to Final Destination by the guy having a vision of the plane blowing up. You know, so from what the preview showed, it pretty much means that from each part they had up to this one, it got to be one person from each one of their family that must have been at that ballroom that was on the trailer. Because you remember it said that she prevented people from dying and most of them were never supposed to have been born. You know, they may have showed a little too much through the trailer, but it's okay. A movie like this, you don't mind. Because a movie like this, it doesn't matter if you know what's going to happen. You know what's going to happen, so it doesn't matter. It's really hard to spoil a movie like this. This is a movie that you have to see, you know. So ever since the first one, you know, it had everybody hooked. So, you know, it doesn't matter if you know too much. But I do like the fact that it seemed like they're going to close it out. So that's the sad part, you know. But you know, Hollywood, nothing is ever closed out. So they may close it out for now until they sell it to someone else, and then they bring it back. But I don't mind, you know. Final Destination has always been a pretty interesting, good concept movie. So I don't mind. I mean, they can make 100 of them. I'll go see each and every one, and I'm sure most of you guys will too. And you know, I'm not even going to lie. You know, at the very end when they showed Tony Todd, kind of caught me a little bit. You know, in case you guys don't know who Tony Todd is, in case you've been living under a rock, here's a picture of Tony Todd that you may remember him from. Yeah, now I put the face with the name. So most of you guys that didn't know, which I'm sure all my fans know, because all my fans are very intelligent, so I know all you guys know. This may be for the new people that don't know. But it's okay. We don't mind educating you a little bit. So that's Tony Todd, the legend. You know, he has a lot of small cameos and a lot of different horror movies. But his little small parts, they meant so much. He had one in the movie, what is it called? Hatchet, about Victor Crowley. He played Dr. Insano. And then he had this role on Final Destination. A little small role. I think he was an Undertaker on here, if I'm not mistaken. And you know, they showed a little part of that, and you know, you see that his health wasn't really in great condition because he was kind of slim. You know, but I'm still glad. You know, they got a good picture of him smiling, and he looked, you know, for the most part, he looked happy. You know, it is what it is. You know, he's a great loss. He was a great actor. You know, and he will be truly missed. So I'm glad they did show him, you know, in the trailer. It kind of made me like, okay, yeah, all right. Because I was wondering, when they said Bloodline, I was like, wonder if they got it before he passed. So luckily they did, and I'm grateful for that. So guys, I hope you guys enjoyed my little trailer review. So from the trailer review I see, I'm going to give it a 3.5. But you never know. 3.5 Pterodome soldiers. You know, my rating system is 5 out of 5 Pterodome soldiers is the best. 0 out of 5 Pterodome soldiers is the worst. So I'm going to give it a 3.5 Pterodome soldiers. This is just for the trailer review. I haven't seen the movie yet. The movie doesn't come out till May. But I'm sure all you guys are going to go see it too. I want to see it the first weekend. You know, I usually try to do it on Saturdays. And I hope it's playing at that haunted movie theater that I always talk about that I want to go to. That would be a great one. You know, it's not really too scary. Like, I ain't got to worry about no ghosts or nothing. But yeah, that's why I have this thing where it's like the closest thing I have to being a Reaper. And that's the enemy of the movie of Final Destination. That's the protagonist. I'm sorry, the antagonist is the Reaper. And he's mean. He comes. You know, and everybody goes see it just so you can see crazy ways that people die. You know, the most simplest thing can turn into a death trap. You know, I can remember when part 2 came out, the one where they was on the highway and the logs fell off the truck. To this day, when I ride on the highway and I see a truck with the tree logs, I get a little paranoid. You know, it actually almost happened to me once. That's a long story. I don't even want to talk about it. But yeah, it wasn't a log. Somebody had a bathtub in the back of their car. And I'm not gonna say because of the movie I was paranoid, but I was kind of paranoid. I was like, that tub looks like it's wobbly. Luckily, it was no one else out there, me and someone else, and his tub fell right off his car and came tumbling right towards me, and I got out the way just in time. So, you know, that movie right there, it doesn't make you paranoid, but it most definitely make you think twice of some things. It goes for all your deepest fears. Of course, everybody's scared when they get on a roller coaster. I love roller coasters, but of course, you know, in the back of your mind, you think that, dang, what if it jump off the track? They had the one with that, the race car track. You always thinking like, hey, what happens if one of these cars go off the track? They had that. Of course, they had the original one with the airplane. Whew. Of course, you know, that's the most terrifying one. And they had several other situations. But, you know, like I said, they always find your most deepest, not really fear, but I'll say concerns. Your most deepest concerns, and they take it and they put it in this movie. And they make it happen. They make it reality. So, guys, like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed the trailer review. I'll be doing the Popeye movie next. Popeye the Slayer Man. Actually, it's 3 Popeye movies came out. So I already watched Popeye the Slayer Man. They got one called Fiddle Me Timbles, something like that. And it's called, another one coming out called Popeye's Revenge. See, all these old cartoons, their time ran up with the copyrights. So people just grabbing them and turning them all to horror movies. But guess what? I love it. So maybe tomorrow or the day after, because I have 2 more movies to do. I have to do A Working Man with Jason Statham come out this weekend. I'm going to do a reaction video on that, and I'm also going to do a review of that video. Probably the same day. And maybe tomorrow or a couple of days after that, I'm going to do the Popeye. I'm going to do 2 Popeye movies back to back, because I don't think the one called Revenge of Popeye doesn't come out until maybe next month. So I'm going to do the 2 that came out. I already watched one of them. I'm going to watch the other one maybe tomorrow. And I'm going to do a full review on that. You know, it's just fun movies. I'm not going to say they're great. I can tell they're not going to be great. So we're going to have fun with it. And then we're going to go to the movie theater next weekend. This weekend, I'm sorry. And I'm going to try to find a movie theater that's going to pique you guys' interest. I always try to find a good one. They got stuff around so you guys can get a little tour. I never tell you what city I'm going to be in or where I'm going to be at. But like I always say, if you see me in public, just say, hey, BG. And that's all you have to say, hey, BG. And I'll pay for up to 3 people. You do not have to sit with me, but you do have to go in that theater when I go. You have to be over the age of 17, and I have to do a review of each one of you guys once the movie is over. That's all I ask for. You don't have to sit with me, unless you want to. You know, I'm such a cool dude. A little tiny bit cool. But anyway, if you see me, just say, speak to me, and that's it. You ain't got nothing else but that. So, I'll see you guys for the next movie review, whether it's Popeye, the Slayer Man, and Tickle Me Fumbles. I keep getting the name wrong. It's another Popeye movie. I'll get the name right, trust me. But and also The Working Man. So you'll see me again within the next day or 2, maybe 3. But we'll be back on. And this is BGDINO, the Turbodome Soldier. Shout out to the Dante Show Network. Shout out to June 5th. Shout out to Miss Jersey. Her channel is Forensic8888. Check out her channel. She does movie reviews also. This is BGDINO, the Turbodome Soldier, and the People's Champ. Salute.